everybody, welcome to this week's episode of Vision One Media Artist Shoutout. My name is Ella Beth. We're in our lounge room setup today. It's got a little vibe, got a little bit of a chill on these fancy couches that I need to know where to get some of. My guest today is also a fan of the couches, so that's good. We bonded immediately with that. But he is an artist who has worked with some incredibly big names. I won't start getting all like fangirly yet, but some big names. He has recorded some of his own albums. He's currently in the process of a new one. We're going to talk all about that. So without further ado, welcome Cleveland P. Jones.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm honored to be here.
Thank you so much for finally getting here. I'm sorry, my schedule, it's been a bit of a...
No, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Yes.
In America, I've got a job.
You got a job. That's awesome.
It's cool. So, first of all, thank you for being here. And I wanted to let you know that I'm a big fan of you and what you do.
Thank you. It's an honor.
We were talking a little bit, I'll tell you guys, we were talking a little bit before the interview about how we've both done a little bit of mutual research on each other through Instagram. I found Cleveland through some other artists in Atlanta because, like I've talked about on here, there's such a wonderful community and scene. Can you tell me about that? Being, you're obviously more established than I am in the Atlanta scene. You've been here for, you're a Southern boy. You've been here for a bit. Can you tell me about your experience as a singer here in the Atlanta music community and scene? Well,
I'll go back to where it kind of started. I decided to go to Morehouse College first. That was in 1996. I'm going to date myself real good. As far as, hey, it is what it is. But I went to Morehouse College, and I was a part of the Morehouse College Glee Club. And as soon as I graduated, I kind of got acclimated to the underground music scene here in Atlanta, which was this place called Apache Cafe. I miss that place. Did you ever go?
No, I've heard about it. I've heard that it's like a legend in the...
It is. It was titled Yin Yang first, but I wasn't there at that time. But it was titled Apache Cafe, and that's how you came in. The open mic, Wednesday night, open mic, Al Smith's open mic jam, I think it was called. And I never forget walking in there and singing Autumn Leaves. And it was kind of a funny moment because they were like, this guy's not singing this. It's just not, doesn't seem like this is, like his aesthetic does not fit his voice.
Okay, yeah.
So I've heard that many times, which used to make me feel quite insecure. But I'm better now from that. But,
May I ask, do you feel like you've changed your style or like your musical style or changed your aesthetic style at all to kind of meld them?
Well, not the aesthetic. I mean, I'm just, what you see is what you get. But,
I like it. We were just talking about the chain. The chain's part of the statement.
But then, well, you know what? Aesthetically, I would say something. I was I was way more closed in as an artist, starting out, like, I wanted to wear the bow ties and, be very, very astute looking, per se. And, as I got older, and I was like, let me just undo the second button.
It's a whole new lease on life out here.
I know, just little small things like that for me, because I'm pretty kind of nerdy, country Southern guy, but kind of shy in my own right. Yeah. But it started at Apache Cafe, honestly. Getting noticed, recognized there, started singing backgrounds for people. Again, that's what I wanted to do, was be a background singer. So I just started getting into it, and then eventually I decided to one day just do my own show. And I remember telling the people at my job where I was working, and they all just showed up in great numbers. My family came in from South Carolina. And, it was kind of like an awakening moment, like, oh, wait a minute. And I even designed my own outfit for that day and had a seamstress to make it. It was crazy. I went all out.
Like the whole show.
I did the whole show. And I still have it on DVD. Well, it's on DVD now. It was on VHS.
Wow, that is... There'll be people listening to this who don't even know what that is. Yeah, right.
It's those big black tapes. Yeah. But anyway, after that, I started just doing more. Again, still want to stay as a background singer, mainly. So I would take on a lot of those gigs. I had a lot of lessons learned from that. You got burned a little bit, but you still learn a lot.
Yeah.
And eventually, after that, I just kept going and moving, and then eventually I decided to attend Berklee College of Music in Boston.
Right, I was going to ask you about that. So was there like a Was there just one moment where you sort of had an epiphany, like, I'm going to go to Berkeley? Because I feel like that happens for quite a few.
I had never heard of Berkeley until I was at Morehouse, so it kind of came later. But my professor at the time, voice professor, Dr. Foster, he would always say, you know, Cleveland, I know you're here at Morehouse, and I know you're doing the music thing here, but I just have a feeling that I feel like you should be in an environment like Berkeley. And of course, I didn't know much about it. I didn't know that it was this contemporary great school up in Boston. So, but he said, but there's someone I think you should meet. Now, this story is going to sound unreal, but it's the truth. Okay.
No, it's laid on me. I'm
You
like,
ready?
oh, I love these ones.
So, what he says, you know who I think you should work with? And I said, who? He says, you should work with the maestro. So who's the maestro? He says, Bobby McFerrin. And I'm like, Bobby McFerrin that I love, like I call him, McFerrin. He's like my secret dad in my brain, right? So, so he literally made some form of contact somewhere to find Bobby McFerrin. I don't know how it happened. I know 3 weeks had passed when he had made the contact and we had heard nothing back. And then I remember I was walking, at the time I was at Morehouse, and I was walking on the third floor of Brawley Hall, and someone said, where's Cleveland? Find Cleveland. And I went to Dr. Foster's office, and Bob McFerrin had called him, and we spoke on the phone. I couldn't believe it. I kept, I'm trying to be like, okay, yeah, but you gotta,
be cool,
you gotta be really chill, And he was so gracious and so kind, and he was like, I'm just Bobby, so nice. I mean, that's the closest I ever came to him, because I really would love to see him in concert. And I speak that will happen. Hopefully one day sing with him. You never know.
Manifest it, absolutely.
I will manifest. That's the word right there. Manifest. Yep. So it was one of those moments where I knew that there was something more that I need to do than not just sing background, but I still love doing it because it's one of my favorite things to do. But in Berkeley became home for a while, for 8 years. I ended up staying 8 years in Boston.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And did you study all of that time? Did you go on to do like a...
Well, yeah, I studied. I went there in 2006, graduated in 2009, and then I stayed there because I found work. So I was still working a corporate job at the time, and then eventually went over to just strictly music full time. And I've been doing that now for 12 years this year. In May this year makes 12 years. It is so scary still, but I'm making it.
Oh, absolutely. I think that... And I want to say, like, really congratulations to you. And also, like, that really takes guts and resilience and tenacity to stay in music. I've gone in and out of being only a musician to being a musician who also has like a side job to pay the bills.
Oh, yeah.
My whole life. And I don't know if it'll be like that for the rest of my life. I would love the idea of just solely being in music, but good on you, because...
I will tell you this. Now, I literally had to make a decision. It was the 9-to-5 job was honestly getting on my nerves, to be honest. And I'm gonna just be straight up. It was getting on my nerves.
I'll bet.
I was a pretty good worker. I'm not gonna tell the company, but I was working in sales and services, and I was doing my part. But I was a person who kind of in a certain regimen needed to basically work all day and take a break almost near the time for me to go home. So I could trick myself that, you only have 2-3 hours left. So man, you're good. So when I got back in the office to do the work, it was like, okay, zip.
Yeah.
Right. So I worked hard to do that. But eventually they kept constantly putting me on a certain break schedule. And I kept saying, this is not working for my personality, like how my brain functions. Right. But, and eventually I just called the people that I started working with on the music side of it. And I said, I think I'm going to let it go. And the lady, she says, do it, Cleveland, just do it. I called my mom. My mom said, go for it. I called my bestie, Roxanne, at the time, and she was like, Cleveland, if you don't do it, you're going to be crazy if you don't. Right, so I literally just called these 3 ladies that I love, and they said, go for it. We'll support you. And I've been doing it ever since. I remember kissing the people goodbye and saying, hey, I'll see you at the Grammys. Hadn't got there yet.
Yeah, right. No, but again, manifesting.
But that's how I did it.
Yeah, and you have to, I really believe in stepping into that as well. Like really, like you said, choosing, making it intentional. Yeah. Absolutely. Oh yeah, that is badass. That is really, really badass.
It is not easy, but it's worth it.
Just no kids out there who are like, maybe hearing people around them being like, you'll never make it, you'll never be able to make a living in music.
You can and you will.
You can, you have it. Yeah. Work hard. Work damn hard, but you can do it.
You got to take a leap. And what I've known is that if you step like I always say, you put your toe into the water, and even if you go down a little bit, you won't drown though.
Right.
If you just remember, I'm not going to drown.
Right.
It's going to get tough, it's going to get rough, but you're still going to come up, or you're going to resurface, and this too shall pass, and you keep moving.
That's incredible. So then in the last 12 years, you have recorded 2 albums.
I have.
You recorded Ace of Hearts.
Ace of Hearts.
And Let's Make Love.
Let's Make Love.
So tell me about those two albums, those projects.
Well, Ace of Hearts was recorded in 2013. Well, it was recorded in 2012, but released in May 2013. It was my first album, and it was definitely how would I say, a rites of passage for me. I was determined to make sure that I was like, you know what, can you really write an entire album? Can you produce all the songs? Now I did had work for hires, but I did compositions, compose all the songs. Right. And I just wanted to know, could I function in doing it alone in myself? Right. Now it was a big undertaking. I did have people to help me through it, but it were people that I hired. But I just need to test myself to see that I could do it because I was, first of all, going to Berkeley and being around so many amazing musicians, I was like, okay, I don't measure up to that kind of production work or whatever, but I knew what I wanted to do, and at the time I was dealing with a broken heart. So I'm like, just write about it.
Yeah.
So write about it and
literally
put it out there and make no apologies, and that's what I did. So it was a very retro set type thing. I had all live instrumentation, just took care of business, cost me a good penny that I have not made back, but I have not one piece of regret because it was something that I needed to prove to myself that I could do, and I did it. So kudos to me.
Yeah, absolutely. So
make it through.
Was that kind of where you were like, okay, I have stepped into my artist era. I am now Cleveland the artist. I have written, produced, slaved my titties over this thing.
All of it. I mean, all of my money is gone. But but I can always look back and say this is something, a labor of love that I will never regret. And then 7 years later, which was right as the pandemic was happening in March 2020, I released Let's Make Love. And that was like a conglomerate of songs that I had done throughout the years. My mind was focused more in that particular project of like, hey, some of these songs could potentially be, for sync licensing, for music licensing. Right. So I kind of just put a hodgepodge of songs together that I've recorded over the years and just made it Let's Make Love, which one of the songs was titled Let's Make Love. So that's what that was all about. And then of course the pandemic hits and it didn't really do anything because everything kind of just shut down. Right. But what I did do was what people say they don't do anymore is buy CDs. But I decided, you know what, I'm still going to buy some CDs and see if people will purchase them, and they did. Good, so I made something I can say I did way better than I thought I was going to make. Right, and I want to thank all of you who did support, and still supporting. So I don't take that for granted at all.
Absolutely, yeah, and definitely. And for those artists like us who are independent artists and who are doing the whole damn thing, like really manager work, production work, like PR, like doing all of that. That's incredible that you have that you made the decision and you've stuck to it and you've come through that and you have things to show for it.
But you know what? What's funny is actually this moment right now, hearing you say this is now making me reflect on I really did do it.
Yeah,
because initially, because while you're in it, it feels like, oh God. Okay, what's next?
Take me away from this,
okay. I mean, you're looking for the downfalls, and the downfalls do happen. Yeah. It feels like Mercury retrograde was every freaking month.
Yeah.
It just felt like everything was bad. But then as I talk to you and reflect, I'm like, Cleveland, you did achieve, you did do good, and you didn't do so bad, and you're still here.
Yeah.
So and I got lots more to share.
And currently working on album number 3
I am.
Your first jazz album. Tell me about that. How did that come about?
Now, this is something I've always wanted to do more than anything. So just a little brief story. My Ace of Hearts and Let's Make Love are definitely, again, songs I'm glad I did, albums I'm glad I put out, but I've always just wanted to do jazz mainly. But I realize I'm more of a soulful singer. I'm soulful, jazzy, soulful, I'd rather say. Yeah. And I wanted to really just do something that really fits my personality and not, try to be a copycat or whatever. Yeah. But in this particular case, I started working with this guy named Justin Barnes. I started doing slight productions of things that I wanted to do, kind of how I wanted to see it. I'm influenced by some people, though, so I'm not going to say everything is just like, oh, God, this is just off the top of my head. There's a Gregory Porter out there who I love his music, and he's amazing, so I'm influenced by his sound, of course, Sarah Vaughan and Ella Fitzgerald, all the greats. Yeah. So, and of course, right now, the popular one is Miss Samara Joy, who is just knocking it out, and a Cecile, Savon, and all these people.
Absolutely.
They're just amazing. So I'm influenced by a lot of those beautiful singers. But I have to remember I have my own unique sound.
Yeah.
And this is how I interpret it.
Right.
But I'm just so excited to finally and it was literally just making a decision that I want to do this, so I'm just going to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Instead of saying, okay, well, who's going to help me? I've learned that if I don't put my best foot forward and start doing it on my own, things just don't move. You can talk all day.
Yeah.
You can talk all day about your dreams and aspirations. But if you're not putting your best foot forward and trying to at least see something happen, then, it'll just sit there and be stagnant.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about it. And I feel like I'm in good company right now with the right people who really believe in me other than me. I believe in me, but it's nice when you have that extra push that says, I see something in you, so let's do this together if you're open to it. So
absolutely.
I'm staying open.
Because it feels less. It feels less vulnerable, Like you can bet on yourself all day and know that you're a winner for sure. But to have someone else be like, listen, I just want you to know that I also bet on you. It's like, I was lonely for a bit there.
Yeah, I mean that's true. But it's such a great feeling. And in fact, this Sunday coming, I'm doing a Nat King Cole tribute with some of the guys that I'll be doing the album with. So I'm just a happy guy,
Yeah. I love that. And for you to say that, I'm just a happy guy. I think that is so inspiring because, like you said, you've grinded, you've really grinded, and you've hustled, and you've put the work in, and built, put all the layers of the foundation in, and so to be able to sit here now and look back and be like, yeah, I did that, and you're a happy guy, and you're doing what you love. That's so exciting. I'm really, really.
But let me also say, the happiness is a choice.
That's true too.
It's definitely a choice for me because I could totally be quite jaded by so many things that's already happened to me in the industry. But I had to realize that, if you stay stuck on that all day long, and first of all, you can't change the past.
Right.
If you stay stuck in that space the whole time, I do believe in going through it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Have your moment.
Yeah.
But if you don't stay there too long. And so that's why I choose happiness and say, okay. And I literally have to choose it each day, because it's easy to fall back into something, but why? If you don't have to, don't do it.
Right, absolutely.
Stay happy. Life is short. Let's keep going.
Absolutely. Yeah. Amen. Amen.
Amen.
So I wanted to ask you just a little bit. There's one thing that caught my eye in your little bio was that you worked with Chaka Khan.
Oh, no, I did not. Let me be very clear on that.
Please tell me about that, because I saw her name and I just about did like a little girl squeal. I was like, what?
Yeah. No, so the year was 2016, and she was at the Cobb Energy Center doing a show.
Here in Atlanta.
Here in Atlanta. Okay. Yes, I'm sorry. Here in Atlanta, and she was doing a show, and I was asked to be the opening act.
Oh, you opened for her?
I opened for her.
Still?
No,
oh my
but
God.
so I got to meet all the people except for her.
Oh,
yeah, she didn't. She was not in sound check or anything.
Okay.
Not that I saw, because I was there the whole day. I didn't see her.
Opening
but
for her?
It was such a pleasure, such an honor, and great support from the community. Thank you again, Atlanta. I love you all. Thank you, Mom and my sister, for coming from South Carolina. I don't take any of that for granted. So, but it was great. It was a wonderful moment that I'll never forget. Never forget.
Yeah, that's so cool. Oh, she's she's up there. I think.
Oh yeah.
Ain't Nobody
Legend.
is one of the best songs ever written. That
Absolutely.
one, simply the best. I Can't Make You Love Me.
Oh yes.
I'm like,
are you all up in my stuff? Yeah. Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. So at this point in the round, we like to do something called the lightning round.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you a bunch of more or less silly questions. Nothing too crazy. Some people are like, oh my God, no, don't worry. But yeah, just go with jokes. Just go with how you feel.
Let's go.
All right. So, what is your favorite sound?
Sound?
Yeah.
Ooh, rain.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, water. I like that.
I love it.
So if you could be on a show bill with 4 other artists. So let's pretend it's like one of those Piedmont Park things. It's a 5-artist festival, dead or alive. Who are the other 4 artists? So Cleveland P. Jones is already on the bill. Who else?
Absolutely. Rochelle Farrell.
Yes.
Lettucey.
Okay.
Luther Vandross.
Of course.
Honestly, Anita Baker.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. Oh, that would be one hell of a show. That'd be killer.
I wouldn't be. I mean, I know they're the bomb, but I wouldn't be scared. I'll still give.
You just be like, look, I am on this playbill.
Listen.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know.
And they'll go off in Piedmont Park. They love it there. It's
let's
great.
go for it. Yeah.
Okay. In the world of fictional musical women, would you rather Stacey's mom or Jesse's girl?
I don't know Stacey's mom, so I have to say Jesse's girl.
Jesse's girl. Okay,
yeah,
right.
I don't know Stacey's mom.
Okay.
Never heard that one. I'll go look it up, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Stacey's mom. Go check it.
Okay. Stacey's mom.
Oh, that's so funny. All right, so if aliens came to the planet right now and approached you and asked what the best album on the planet was, what album would you say?
I would have to say First Instrument by Rochelle Farrell.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right, that's the one.
I can truly, because I'll go down to Stevie Wonderline, and there's nothing you can say like Songs of the Key of Life. I can keep going and going.
Okay.
That's a hard
okay.
one. If I had to say one, I immediately just popped into Rochelle Farrell because she gets all into my soul and stuff.
Feelings.
Yeah.
All right, so what about what song do you really wish that you had written? And it's not because you covet someone else's music, but it's like you just vibe with, it's like, how did this person get inside my soul and then spew out my feelings?
This is funny you're saying this because there's one artist, when I heard her album, I was like, how did she write my album before I did?
Okay.
And that album was titled Salt by Liz Wright.
Okay.
It's you don't know Liz Wright, do you?
No, I'm going to go check her out.
You better check her out. You know, I had, of course, aesthetically, she's so beautiful, so I had like this slight crush on her too. But, you know, that's just crush.
Okay.
But yeah, I just, when I heard her voice and I heard, because she's kind of alto contralto voice, and it's just very rich and beautiful. And if I had to go back and say one more artist that I would like to be on the bill with, it would also be Alita Adams. Okay. Just such a beautiful, rich voice that I just admire those old school.
That timbre of,
yeah. And Ray Charles and also Aretha. I just got to kind of say those. And Donny Hathaway, so, you know.
Yeah.
It's so many I could just, you know, it's kind of hard to say boom, boom,
I think
that's
it's also interesting though, because when, like you said, like rich, like really rich, almost like mellow soul voices.
Yes.
Like the people that you've mentioned, there is a common thread with their voices. So it's like, I agree. Like sometimes you hear a sound, you're like, oh, I just love that sound so much. And then you're like,
it does
listening to it from other people, it's like, oh yeah, that's the thing, you know, that's what makes my skin tingle or whatever.
Yeah.
That's really, really, really cool. All right, so my final question is, what R&B or hip hop artist would you slap? I got this question from another show that I like guest hosted on.
Like slap them?
Yeah, slap him.
Like, darn, you're good. Or like, shut up. Which one?
Like slap the out of them.
I'll be really honest. I can't say anything for hip hop because I don't listen to hip hop a lot.
Okay.
I appreciate it a lot, but I don't know many. And I just honestly have to say I would want to slap nobody. I have to. I just can't. I can't do it.
You can't see
I'm not
yourself.
gonna be on camera saying I want to slap a particular artist. Not happening today. No.
The original two questions. The original two questions were that they asked was, who was someone that you'd like to slap the out of, and which solo R&B artist would you smash? I was like, I was like, that's what I matched the two questions together. Which solo R&B artist?
Who's your person? Oh, you can't say? No pressure.
Like Hopas. It is literally 50-50 between Miguel and Erykah Badu.
Really?
Not to slap.
Oh. Okay.
Oh wait, sorry. I thought
I was thinking about the smash. Slap.
No. That was smash. But no. Who would I slap? Probably Chris Brown.
Okay.
He might hit me back. So.
Listen, I'm not getting into that. I'm just gonna say, y'all keep your hands to yourselves. Everybody just
don't
chill
anyone
out.
be slapping anyone.
Wow.
Well, it has been.
It has been a pleasure.
It has been so lovely having you on here. Thank you so much for coming along.
I am honored.
And before you go, would you be able to tell the audience where to find you on social media, where to find your which platforms to find your music?
Sure. Okay. Hello, everybody. Again, I'm Cleveland P. Jones. Honored to be here with Miss Ella Beth for this moment. You can find me on Instagram. That's my mainstay, I would say. Instagram, just Instagram.com. What is it? /
Yeah.
Cleveland P. Jones. ClevelandP. Jones, Jones, because people tend to screw up my first name. I don't know how come, but it's just like the city. Cleveland with the P in the middle, Jones, no hyphens, no anything. Of course, you can also find me on Twitter. I'm not really there too much as far as interacting, but Instagram and Facebook you can find me. So Cleveland P Jones are the main places you can find me. And also I have a artist e-card. You can totally look up artistecard.com/Cleveland P Jones, and I'll be there. All my music is pretty much all over the place. It's on TrackSource, iTunes, Deezer, Spotify. It's all over the place under Cleveland P Jones, and sometimes under Cleveland Jones, because if someone is putting it on and say if I'm featured, sometimes they will leave out the P.
Okay, all right.
So it just depends. So, but it's Cleveland Jones or Cleveland, but mainly Cleveland P Jones is what I go by.
Excellent, excellent. Cool, well, thank you so much for coming and being a guest. I really appreciate it. Yeah. And if you're another person from around Atlanta or Georgia, or even if you're just visiting for a little bit and you're watching this right now, or you know someone who you think would be great as a guest here on our Artist Shout Out, please reach out to us and let us know. You can reach out to us at Vision One Media, ATL on Instagram. We're Vision One Social, just the word social, at Gmail. You can find our website, Vision One Media. You can find us on Facebook at Vision One Media. If you want to, you can also reach out to me personally. I'm Ella Beth, BETH.music on Instagram. You can DM me if you want to come on here. But we're all about building artists' communities. We're all about helping to collaborate with artists, and we always love to have new people here on the show, so let us know. But otherwise, it's been a great chat.
It's been a
pleasure. Hope you have a great week.
You too.
Hope you have a great week, and I'll see you next time.
Bye.